guys, it's Kelly, and today I've got another swatch and review for you. Today we are looking at the ILNP Daydream collection for Spring 2020. They did already come out with a previous Spring 2020 line, which I'm going to link up in the cards for you guys to check out, but now we've got another one, and nobody's complaining about that. I'm not too familiar with ILNP because I haven't been using them for very long, but as far as I'm aware, they do 2 collections per season. That might not be totally accurate, but the ones that I have seen before, they're 2 collections each. So if you guys haven't heard of ILNP before, it is an independent nail polish brand based in the US. They are known for being 7 free, which means they are free of 7 of the dangerous chemicals that are often found in nail polish. They are vegan friendly and they are also cruelty free. So today I am sharing 6 brand new polishes for you. We've got a lot of holographic goodness, so let's just go ahead and get started. So you guys know the drill by now. I am wearing base coat underneath all of my swatches just to protect my natural nail and prevent any stains. I'm going to link the one I used in the description for you guys. So first up in this collection we have the shade Serenity, and this is a very rich blue shade that also has a linear holographic shimmer running throughout, and this one is a little bit brighter and bolder than I would have expected for a spring collection, but it is absolutely stunning. In the past, I haven't tried too many ILNP polishes like I told you guys, but in the past I have found most of them to be 3 coaters, and this one was almost opaque in 1. It did give me full coverage in 2, and it also really deepened that color and added more of that holographic flair. So really impressive coverage, really impressive formula, and that linear holographic showed through absolutely gorgeously. It just feels like, I don't know, a summery shade to me. It reminds me of like the sky or like a really nice pool, and ooh, it's making me have all the warm vibes. Next up we have the shade Utopia. This is another linear holo, and this one is in a really soft, cool toned lilac shade. And this color to me definitely feels more like a springy shade. It is absolutely gorgeous. On the first coat it was pretty sheer, and I thought this was going to be one of the 3 coaters, but this one also ended up being a 2 coater. I believe the whole collection was, which was actually really impressive for me. So I really enjoyed the formula of these. The holo showed through absolutely beautifully. With some of these I found that I had to let them dry for a couple of minutes before that holo showed through really nicely. So you'll see that my swatches are when the polish is dry, which I try to do anyway, but just so you guys know. But yeah, just an absolutely gorgeous color. I think it looks so beautiful on the nails, and I feel like it's totally springy. Next up we have the shade In the Clouds, and this is a really gorgeous, almost like duochrome shade. It kind of shifts from being this very light, warm purple shade to being a really intense gold, and it actually also features very subtle little holographic flecks running throughout. And this is just another absolutely gorgeous springy color to me. It feels so soft and new and pretty, and I don't know, it's just, it kind of reminds me of those like rose gold duochrome eyeshadows, which I'm absolutely obsessed with, but this one is that like purpley tone to it, which I totally love. So just another absolutely gorgeous shade, really perfect for spring, and I like that little holo showing through as well. It's just a nice little surprise. Next up we have the shade Full Bloom, and this one is more of a blush pinky nude cream shade that has a very soft golden shimmer running throughout, as well as a very subtle holographic fleck. And I feel like this is very uncharacteristic of me, but I gotta say, I think this one is my favorite of the collection. I feel like this one is very different from the rest of the shades, and I feel like to me it's just a really standout color because it really looks like your stereotypical spring shade, but it's been elevated with that shimmer. And I feel like this is another one of those examples where it's like your nails but better. And as you guys know, I've been in a very nude mood lately, and this is just satisfying that nude mood so much right now. This feels perfect for like a bridal situation or just for like a work appropriate look. I don't know, I just totally love it. Next up we have the shade Caroline, and this one is actually more of a glitter nail polish, but it is full coverage. It's kind of like a scattered holographic rose gold glitter, and this one is super intense. I have a feeling it's kind of soft enough that you can probably use this as a topper over a similar color, but there is a little bit of color in that base, so it might tint whatever you're using a little bit. But I did find that it gave me 2 coats for full coverage. Because I have short nails, if you have long nails you might need to throw on a 3rd, but again, just another really gorgeous shade. That holographic pigment just shone through really beautifully, and I love that base color. This kind of feels like the holo version of your nude nails but better. So again, really satisfying trying that nude mood, and I really like sort of playing with these classic springy shades. I feel like it really works with adding holo and adding a little bit of shimmer. It just, I don't know, it really works for me. And last but definitely not least, we have the shade Happy Thoughts, and this one is like an olive green linear holo. As soon as I saw this one, I was actually very excited because this is like the typical ugly pretty nail polish that I always love, and I love like a nice olive or chartreusey kind of color. I have a feeling that this one is going to be relatively controversial in that I think people are going to totally hate it, but I absolutely love it. I love colors like this, and I love adding that holo sparkle to it. I think it just makes it so fun and different. This to me doesn't totally feel like a spring color. Like if anything, I would think this is kind of a fall color, but regardless, very happy to have it in my collection. I think it is beautiful. So yeah, those are the polishes, and honestly, individually, I think they're all really gorgeous, and I absolutely love the formula. I've really been enjoying ILNP so far, and I haven't had a bad experience yet, but I do have to say, as a person, and this is such a small thing, but as a person who likes full collections, like I love how collections look together, I feel like this one in particular is not very cohesive. Like I feel like it's kind of all over the place in terms of color and finishes. And I know that doesn't really matter in terms of just like picking out a polish to wear, but I don't know, one thing that like gets me super excited when I get a new collection is just like seeing them all together and feeling inspired for nail art. So I don't know, I feel like all together I don't really love them, but then when I hold each polish up individually, I'm like, oh, actually no, I really do like this one. So I don't know, it was kind of a weird sensation for me because when I first got them, I was like, I don't really like these. But then as I was trying each one, I ended up really liking them. So I guess for me, it's a good thing that I do keep my polishes organized in rainbow order rather than by collection, because I think if these were all together all the time, I would probably not pick them out of my lineup of polishes. But yeah, like I said, overall, I do think each of these polishes are really gorgeous on their own. And I feel like the formula and the application is just so easy. I love the brush. It's not too wide that people who don't like wide brushes won't enjoy it, but it's also not too thin that you feel like it's difficult to apply on the nails. They do have that soft touch cap that I love, and the bottles are just really beautiful. So the bottles are 12 milliliters and they are currently on pre-sale for $9 USD, but after the pre-sale, they're going back to the regular price of $10 USD. So yeah, I would love to hear your opinion. Am I totally wrong in feeling like these colors don't totally match each other? Or I don't know, am I being crazy or am I being right? I don't know. Somebody tell me their opinion in the comments. And also let me know if you're planning on picking any of these up. You guys know I love to chat with you in the comments. If you guys enjoy my swatch and review videos, please give this one a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So yeah, that is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. So I actually asked you guys on my Instagram story for some fun facts questions because I feel like I am totally running out of things to tell you guys at the end of my videos. So I am just going to go ahead and use one of those, which I really appreciate those of you guys who responded to me. So one person asked me, what is the worst job I ever had? And that is actually a great one. So when I first graduated from college, I actually briefly worked as a temp. So if you guys don't know what that is, I don't know how to explain it. You basically are a temporary employee and you work for a company that places temporary employees in places. So I did work for a temp agency for, I think it was a little bit over a year actually. That wasn't the worst job I ever had, but one of the places that I was placed in as a temp was the worst I ever had, and it was just really bizarre. I gotta be honest, I don't know what they needed a temp for because there wasn't a person that I was temporarily replacing. I know that's not always the case for temps, but I don't really know. I'm not even 100% sure what they did at the company, but basically they had me, you know, in a cubicle, and they basically told me just don't look at your phone and don't like goof off. So the first couple of days I was there, I was just kind of like waiting for stuff to do. I was like going around and asking people if they needed me to do any administrative stuff for them. So I was like asking people if they wanted me to make copies for them or staple stuff or whatever, and nobody needed me to do anything for them. So, and I wasn't allowed to check my phone. Not that I'm like one of those people who would just sit on my phone the whole time. But yeah, so I didn't really have anything to do. I would ask the guy who hired me like, oh, what do you need me to do today? And he would be like, oh, just sit tight, I'll let you know. And then like 4 hours would go by and I would be like, hey, just wanted to, you know, follow up with you and let you know that I'm still waiting on something to do. And he would be like, oh yeah, no, I'll get to you, don't worry. And I was just like sitting there. So I ended up actually staying there for a couple of months, and I did not do anything for that office. Like I I got paid, but I didn't do anything for them. And I'm sure this probably sounds really like dumb because people are like, that's pretty great. But it's actually like, you'd think that you don't want to do any work until you're actually sitting at a desk for 8 hours doing literally nothing, and it's actually miserable. Like, I'm a person who enjoys getting stuff done, really just sitting there in silence without looking at my phone for months. Worst job I ever had. But yeah, thankfully it was a temp agency. They wanted me to stay on for longer actually, and then it got to a point where I just called the agency that I worked for and I was like, I'm sorry, put somebody else in here because I cannot do this anymore. Like, put me somewhere else, please. So yeah, I ended up leaving that. And actually I ended up getting like a full-time job right after that, so it ended up lining up pretty well. But yeah, that was the worst for sure. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.